Hello everyone, this is Donna from Even the Scales. Thank you for joining me. I'm on my channel right now to talk about the abuse that I've been going through here in Campbelltown, New South Wales over the past 24 hours or so. And I'd also like to tell people who the main people are that are still involved in this. And I just want to talk about it to make people aware of what I'm going through, and hopefully there's someone out there that can help me raise awareness of what I'm going through here. For anyone who doesn't know, I've been being put through very cruel abuse here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, from the majority of my community, and it's happening because of a police cover-up. And I've been going through this for 20 months now, very intensely, but it's been the justice system and my family have been putting me through abuse for many, many years. And the health system are also involved. They're involved in this cover-up, and so is my landlord, St George Community Housing. And although there's not as many people that are still involved in carrying out the abuse here, the ones that are still involved, they are the cruelest people, and they are putting me through intense abuse. So when I am going through abuse, it's very intense and it's very, very cruel. And I want it to stop. Because I'm an innocent person. I don't deserve any of this. This is happening to me because of corrupt members of the justice system and the health system. And my family have stolen my life. They've stolen my entire legacy and life from me. And they have teamed with the justice system and the health system for quite a few years to put me through this abuse. I actually realise now that the people who brought me up, they've actually been involved in setting me up to steal my legacy and my inheritance since they took me into their care. So right now, the groups that are still involved in this are the Campbelltown Police. They have been putting me through stalking abuse. They were stalking me yesterday and they stalked me in the middle of the night last night. They were actually they were sitting there waiting for me to move through the night. And this is because I have a device that's been implanted in my body by the health system without my knowledge. And it's been put there so that the people that put me through abuse are able to monitor my heartbeat as they put me through abuse, to see how much I'm panicking, to see if it, and it's so that the different groups that are involved and the different people can all work together to do this, so they don't have to actually communicate. They're viewing my vital signs, on some kind of device, probably their phones, and when one carries out abuse, another one will start up if they see my heart racing. So last night, the Campbelltown Police was set up. I think it was about 1:30 a.m. in the morning, and then just after they stalked me, the neighbour that lives in the unit next door to me, she must have been sitting there waiting for me to move as well. It was probably set up between the two different groups that are involved, which is the Campbelltown Police and my landlord, St George Community Housing, who is paying the three neighbours that are joined to my home to abuse the air in my home. And they know that I've mentioned before that, when they do carry out abuse during the night, it is the worst, because it's that feeling of dread that just comes over me, just knowing that these people are viewing into my home. They're watching me sleep. They're watching my heartbeat. And it is, it's the most dreadful feeling, and they know that. And, now that I've talked about it, they'll probably do it more, because everything I talk about on my channel, they do more. So she started turning her range hood on and off at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, and she was sending the smell of our home through, and it's disgusting. It really is. And they're doing this because this is what the person did before her. There was a woman in that unit before she moved in, and she was doing the same thing. So it's like they're trying to recreate that trauma. And because they're watching my heartbeat as they do this, that these people are trying to deliberately work together to cause me to have a heart episode. And they're constantly bringing my heartbeat up and down. And, the people that join my unit that are abusing the air, these people are natural abusers. They are mentally disturbed people who enjoy having that power over me. I know it's very sick, but these people are very sick stalkers. They are. And I'm in a lot of danger. So the police and this woman carried out abuse at 1:30 a.m. this morning, and they sent me into a panic attack. And they would have been watching my heartbeat while they were, doing that. So they knew I was panicking. And I don't know if anyone out there knows what it's like to suffer from panic attacks, but it's really awful. It is. It's like I can't control my heartbeat. I try to, I've tried to learn techniques that help me do that, but sometimes you just can't control it because it's trauma. They're just constantly putting me through trauma. And it's very traumatic having your air tampered with. That's one of the most, vital things to life is air, and it's constantly being tampered with by these people. So the Campbelltown police and these neighbours, these neighbours are my main priority right now to get help with, to stop, because they are ruthless. They are mentally disturbed people. They have an inability to feel empathy for anyone. They do a lot of the abuse that they put me through, they do for attention. St George Community Housing is paying them, or they're getting cheap rent. They're getting some kind of money for it. They're also expecting a lump sum if I pass away. This is something that has been, prearranged with the justice system, the corrupt members of the justice system. There's some kind of scam they've got going on where these people stand to inherit money of some kind if I pass away. So that's what it's been done for. It's been done to try and take my life. And these neighbours, they never stop stalking me. The woman downstairs, I mean, I'm not going to go through it all again, but she is just so dedicated to trying to end my life. It's all she does. All this woman does is stalk and abuse me. That's all she ever does. She enjoys it. You can tell because, she's doing it like all day, every day. So obviously she enjoys it. She enjoys having that power over me. She enjoys the attention she's getting for doing what she's doing. She enjoys the humiliation and degrading treatment that I'm going through right now. You can tell that she does because she's inflicting most of the abuse. She's sending this dust into my home, and it covers my entire home. I cleaned my home yesterday thoroughly, and she knows that. So she sent it all through again through the night and all morning. And she does it deliberately around my movements, and she plays games. Like, it's just ridiculous. I've never seen anyone so immature in my life as this woman. Like, she's in her mid-70s, and I've never seen anyone so disrespectful and heartless and cruel in my entire life as this woman. as a woman, like, you know, she's enjoying putting me through suffering. And she's covered my home with dust again today. She's doing it to deliberately affect my breathing. Through the night, she has this dust on, and it just rains down from the roof. And I'm being forced to breathe it in, and it's synthetic fibres from the roof. I posted some photos on my channel yesterday of how much dust she has sent through into my home. What it is, it's actually fibres from the insulation. So I just desperately need help in regard to her, because she's actually very desperate right now to end my life. This woman must just be believing in her head that if she can hurry up and kill me, that she's going to be okay and she's going to get away with this. But she's definitely not getting away with this. Definitely not. This woman is a hired hit woman. She's capable of murder. She's very dangerous. She's sent gas into my home in the past. She's a dangerous stalker who does nothing else. She's obsessed. She is fixated on me and nothing else. And she's wreaking havoc on my life. And she's smug because the Campbelltown police are helping her. They encourage her. They encourage all these neighbours. It's mainly just the 3 neighbours that are joined to my home that are still putting me through abuse. The one that lives diagonally, he was breathing cigarette smoke into my home yesterday afternoon. And the landlord, the landlord's responsible for this, St George Community Housing, and there's 2 women that work at St George Community Housing. They're representatives, and they've been out to my house several times, and I've told them what's going on. I've sent them emails. These women are responsible for my well-being in regard to having mentally ill people around me that are abusing me, especially the fact that they're abusing my ear. And they're doing nothing. They don't even answer my emails. I don't know what kind of an organisation St George Community Housing is, but it's definitely not professional. It's definitely not. They make their own rules up. So they are, these 2 women, they are watching it in my house too, watching me go through this abuse. There's cameras in my house. I haven't mentioned that yet for anyone who doesn't know. St George Community Housing has rigged up cameras in my home. And when I moved into this place, it was all set up to begin with. It was all set up by the justice system, that the people that are joined to my unit were there. They were being paid to try and abuse me to death. There are other neighbours here that are involved in this as well, many. There's a couple that are not, but most of them are, and they all view into my house. They all watch me go through this cruelty, and they do nothing to help me. And that's because they were all getting cheap rent, or they were getting paid as well to be in on this plot to try and destroy my life. It's being done to either cause me some kind of severe health episode like a heart attack. I mean, the fact that they're watching my heart, it's obvious that they're doing this to try and affect my heart. So, they want something fatal to happen to me. That would be the ideal scenario for these people, because, the emergency services are in on this here in Campbelltown. There's ambulance drivers in on this. The police are in on it. So, it was their plan to have me set up to have some kind of serious health episode and then, just take me away from my home and go into hospital and never come out. And I've already been through one setup at the Campbelltown Public Hospital, and I will attach a video to the end of this one if you would like to go and have a look at that. I was put through 5.5 weeks of severe psychological torture. At the Campbelltown Public Hospital, it was all set up. So this is what's going on in the system here in New South Wales. Corrupt members of the justice system and health system and landlords are all getting together and they are abusing people to death to avoid accountability for their corruption and crimes. This is an organised crime ring, no doubt about it. There's so many people involved. This is a huge network of people, including my family members, are involved in this. They've taken money to be a part of this, and they've also stolen my legacy from me. And yeah, it's been planned out since I was a child. These people, my family members that are involved, they have put me through hell my entire life, through so many setups. And I'm only just realising now that a lot of the accidents and the things that I went through, that I just thought were bad luck, were actually setups. My family have also told lies on me to steal that inheritance and to keep people away from me. So have the justice system, and so has these neighbours. So apart from that, there are some New South Wales transport workers who are still involved in this. They put me through humiliating and degrading abuse, mostly in the morning, in the early hours of the morning. They're viewing into my home illegally. They're watching my heartbeat on a monitor. And there's also these abusive men who constantly stalk my home. There's a lot of other organisations that have been involved in this over the past 20 months, and they don't want to be held accountable either. And it's a lot of those organisations that are sending these stalkers past my home. I'm constantly stalked in my home. They stalk to deliberately create pollution and noise. Noise is a big part of this. They use noise as a weapon, and pollution. They use transport as a weapon. The three neighbours that have joined my home, one's using the smell of her home. That's what she uses for her weapon. When she turns on her range, it's disgusting. Then the person that lives diagonally to me, he uses cigarette smoke, and the woman that lives downstairs, she uses dust. So they're all working together, and they think it's funny. They think it's a big joke. These groups, they do. They're so smug. They also take turns with the abuse, and that's all a part of the psychological abuse, because some of the men that are involved in this have committed heinous crimes against women, violent crimes. And one of them's a cop, and he does things in his spare time that involve putting women through very violent, degrading, depraved abuse. And that's part of the psychological abuse here, with them taking turns. It's so sick. These people are so depraved. They are. And when I think back about the setups that my family members were putting me through, so are they. So are they. Before this started, I had no idea that such a large majority of the community was capable of such evil, but they are, and I can see why this is happening, because it needs to stop. It needs to stop so that this can never happen to anybody again. And that's one of the reasons why I have created this channel, to make people aware of this. If there's anyone out there that can help me to stop these people or to create more public awareness around this, please help me. Please help me. Because, people deserve to know that there's landlords out there that are putting illegal cameras in people's homes. I've been being watched on camera for a long time in my home without my knowledge. I've been put through degrading, humiliating treatment. And the neighbours around me that were involved in this, they actually pretended to befriend me deliberately. And then they were going into their homes and watching me in my home. and then getting ideas to put me through psychological abuse. And then they would go around the outside of my home and carry out little scenarios that with other neighbours to deliberately psychologically abuse me. And yeah, there's so many women involved in this, and it's like, this is happening because of abusive men, abusive cops, men and women cops. But it's mainly the abusive men that have committed the really vile crimes. I mean, I reported a pedophile to the Campbelltown Police Station in 2020, and nothing's been done about him. And it's like they get as many women to help them put me through abuse just to make me, try and lose hope that, I'm ever going to get justice here, or that I'm ever going to be heard, because there's so many women helping these men. There's so many women that are willing to take money to help these abusive men commit their crimes. And, there's children that have been involved in these crimes. I went to the shop the other day and there was a woman deliberately abusing her child in the shop, deliberately, to try and get a reaction from me. And it was also, what she was doing was psychological abuse. It was really sick, it was. But this is the kind of thing I'm seeing here. I've reached out to people in the public eye to try and help me with this situation. They haven't helped me. I've seen this organisation and I've reached out to a couple of people in the public eye to help me. And I know they've helped people going through lesser things than what I'm going through here. I mean, this is serious. My ear's being abused. And what I've been through here, there's no amount of money in the world that could compensate the abuse that I've been put through here in Campbelltown, New South Wales. So, if you can help me, please help me. Because people, they need to be made aware of these landlords. They need to be made aware that there's corrupt police that are getting away with these kind of crimes. They're sending stalkers past my house now. They have been since I started this video. And that's just to try and create distractions. This is what they constantly do. They try and create distractions. That's a part of it too. They've obviously done this to other people in the past because it's very calculated. It is. It's very calculated. These people all work together. It's like they work together as a team around the clock, and they're going on some kind of app where they are, they know what everyone's doing and what's going on, and they try and make it so that there's abuse going on just as much as they can. They try and make it continual, whether it's stalkers going past the house, neighbours abusing me, cops stalking. When I go out, I'm stalked on the road, I'm stalked at the shopping centres, I'm stalked in public places every second that I'm out. So these people are all going on some kind of app or platform where they are communicating and being recruited to put me through this abuse. People also need to be made aware that the health system, there's corrupt people out there in the health system, and many of them that are giving people bad advice deliberately about their health. They have kept information from me about my health that I need to know, and they're doing this to deliberately try and aggravate the conditions that I have, hoping that, I pass away from one of them before they're caught. So I'm pretty sure all these people are caught. I am. But they're just taking it to the limit. They are, because the ones that are still involved, they've got nothing to lose because they've just done so much. So, these people are desperate, they're dangerous, and I need urgent help right now. Because, this woman downstairs, she sent raw gas into my house. So that's how reckless she is. She'll do anything to try and get away with what she's done. So, yeah, if you can help me, please help me. Please help me by sharing a video if you can. If you can help me in any other way to get justice here, please reach out to me on the email that will be attached to this video. And thank you to the people who are supporting my channel. You don't know how much it means to me. It's helping me to keep going through this. And I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. And I'll be back on my channel if this abuse continues. I'll be back on here to protect myself every time I have to. So thank you for listening.